Good evening and welcome to this Wednesday night's edition of Primetime News. I'm Salima Shimwe-Feleni. Leading the bulletin tonight, a second person involved in a head-on collision between two minibuses on the Hosea Kutako Airport Road on Tuesday succumbed to her injuries in the Katutura Hospital. Namibian Police Force NAMPOL spokesperson Deputy Commissioner Kona Shikwambi told the Namibia Press Agency the deceased was identified as 54-year-old Charlotte Winkler, an employee of the Ministry of Finance. The deceased next of kin have been informed of her death.
The accident that claimed the life of 54-year-old Charlotte Winkler occurred at a turn-off to the University of Namibia's New Dam campus, about 30 kilometers east of Windhoek and 10 kilometers before Hosea Kutako International Airport. It also claimed the life of a 40-year-old Quinary Kamises who died on the spot. According to the Namibian Police Head of Aviation at Hosea Kutako International Airport, Deputy Commissioner Hafeni Shikongo said 25 people were involved in the accident, of which 24 were taken to the hospital.
It happened around 6:30 in the morning. The other bus is coming from the airport. The immigration, they are going to work at the airport. There is only one fatality and the 24 people were taken to hospital. What exactly happened, I cannot tell. What happened, because you could see we are very busy. Investigation is going to be launched to determine the cause of the accident. So once we get it, we will give you the full detail of what transpired. So people must drive carefully, especially the early morning hour. And you can see here there is a 10. So we have to be cautious.
Chronicler of Ovaherero history and veteran broadcaster Alexander Yaribovandu Kaputu has died at the age of 69. Kaputu died yesterday around 2300 hours after he was rushed to the Oshinene clinic from his home village of Ombakaha. Ministry of Information and Communication Technology Executive Director Belta Wanjarakana announced his passing on Ochiherero's Omurari FM this morning. Wanjarakana described Kaputu's death as a great loss before noting that he has been unwell for some time. Born on the 9th of March 1952, Kaputu retired in 2015 from the Namibian Broadcasting Corporation after having served the national broadcaster for over 3 decades. Information Minister Pea Mushelenga remembers Kaputu as a historian par excellence who contributed to oral literature. Deputy Minister of Agriculture, Water and Land Reform, Anna Shiweda, said her ministry will be training farmers on how to handle chemicals and spray their crops against locust after a swarm was spotted in the Kavango East region over the weekend. Shiweda was responding to questions in the National Assembly by Popular Democratic Movement PDM parliamentarian Jan van Wyk on what the ministry is doing in light of the swarm of African migratory red locusts being spotted in Rundu in the Kavango East region on Sunday.
We are aware of this outbreak in the Kavango East, spreading to other regions, not only in Kavango East, but also spreading to Kavango West and part of Ohangwena. And I can also confirm to the public that the locusts are moving even in the area of Shikoto region. Our officials spraying teams are following on this locust. It's a big challenge because they have now moved to the adult stage. They are flying, and when they are flying, it becomes a problem really to spray them. When they are still young, the nymph, we call them the nymph, there you can spray them. But whenever they start flying, then it becomes a problem. I can say again that it's a challenge because this time around, the locusts have increased in numbers and they have also increased to various regions. Our officials and also the assistance we are receiving from the casual workers and also from the defense force will not be sufficient. And therefore our officials are also training individual farmers to be able to to be able to spray.
The Namibian Economic Freedom Fighters is against the deportation of Angolans without proper documentation from Namibia, saying their country welcomed Namibians with open arms during the liberation struggle. It is now Namibia's time to return the favor, the party argued on Tuesday in the National Assembly. The criticism was directed at the Ministry of Home Affairs, Immigration, Safety and Security, and by extension its minister, Frans Kapofi.
We have Angolian so-called illegal immigrants that were deported last week from Oshakati and Ondangwa to Angola. And among these Angolians, there is Kwanyama and Banja, our own people who are living close to our border. These people are trying to survive by selling their small items like fruits, vegetables, and so on. Honorable Minister, let me remind you, you yourself and some of your colleagues, including me myself, those years during the liberation struggle, we never had our people being deported from Angola to Namibia. And remember that we are also a contributing factor to that country. Yes, under the situation where those people are now.
Okay.
We have Chinese living here without proper permit. We are having a Chinese here. They don't have a proper permit. Yes. Especially those people who are Chinese who are selling a breeding material and so on. Some they came in here with the intention of selling small items like clothing and some small products. And later you find out that those Chinese selling breeding material and other equipment. And these so-called Chinese don't have a proper permit to sell breeding material. One never, or you heard these Chinese deported to China, or maybe a police officer going questioning them.
We'll be back shortly after the news roundup. About 50 general workers tasked with the construction of the Kunene Vocational Training Center in Korigas downed tools today, demanding a better hourly remuneration rate. In an interview with the Namibia Press Agency, one of the workers, Silva Namaseb, said the workers are not paid as per the rates set in the Labour Act, and they thus demanded that the rates be increased with immediate effect. Commenting on the matter, Korigas councillor Mercia Hendricks said a meeting between the contractors and the council management has been set for Thursday. That's all the news we had for you tonight. Please stand by for Shelva Wells. It's over to you, Shelva.
Good evening and welcome to the first edition of Sports Planet. I'm Shalva Wells. We commence with local soccer news. Brave Warriors coach Bobby Samaria says their next game, an African Nations Cup qualifier against Chad slated for 24 March, will be a vital encounter if his Chargers harbour any ambitions of qualifying for the continental tournament. Addressing the media on Tuesday before announcing his 36-member preliminary squad, the coach of the senior men's national football team said Namibia is currently third in the group with 3 points and they have a slight chance of qualifying for the continental showpiece. It's good that Mali and Guinea are playing each other and I hope for Mali to go all the way and win that game because I am positive we will do our part when we face Chad and then come do the job when we face Guinea in Namibia on 28 March, the coach said. The rescheduled African Union Sports Council Region 5 games will go ahead regardless of the COVID-19 situation, CEO Stanley Mutoya said in an interview with Xinhua on Tuesday. The African Union Sports Council Region 5 is the sports arm of the African Union aimed at using sports as a vehicle to achieve peace, integration and unity in Africa and is comprised of 10 SADC members, namely Angola, Botswana, Eswatini, Lesotho, Malawi, Mozambique, Namibia, South Africa, Zambia and Zimbabwe. African Union Sports Council Region 5 games were to take place last December before they were postponed to this year. However, regardless of the pandemic, the organizing committee is confident that the games will go ahead but under strict health protocols. According to Mutoya, the event is still going ahead as planned. The event is scheduled for the 3rd to the 12th of December 2021 in Maseru, Lesotho. Moving on to international soccer news. Rangers manager Steven Gerrard said it is his dream to take charge of Liverpool one day, but has no intention of replacing Jurgen Klopp, who has come under pressure amid a stunning slump in form. Gerrard took the helm at Rangers in 2018 and guided them to their first Scottish Premiership title since 2011, this season denying Celtic a 10th successive crown in the process. His success has seen him tipped to take over from Klopp, whose side waltzed to the Premier League title last season but has lost 8 times in the league since January and dropped to 8th in the current campaign. Gerrard told ITV News that Liverpool fans do not want him to manage the club and they want Klopp to continue. He added that he totally agrees with him. We will return shortly after the sports roundup. That's all the news we had for you this evening. We thank you for tuning in, and if you are new to this channel, please subscribe, like and share. From me, Shalva Wells, and the entire Nampa team, good night.